2020 definitely is a strange year. You got white Hollywood apologizing for no apparent reason, Snapchat making a Juneteenth feature of if you smile at the Snapchat camera, you could break the chains of slavery, and you got dumbasses lighting up fireworks every night like it's some mating call. The anime world is no exception, and straight up the Great Depression. All your favorite shows got postponed to the next season or even later. I was watching Hokago Taibo Nishi, and we still stuck at episode 3 for the past 8 weeks. Even cute moe girls doing cute things got cancelled in 2020. However, we have one anime that rose to the occasion. One anime that said, "F*** narcissistic disconnected from reality Hollywood stars," and a big f*** you to all the Karens out there. And to all of this series responded with, God damn, those clips never get old. So apart from all the how cute memes and the 20,000 Chica dance cover videos, we need to roll out the red carpet, and the whole anime delegation needs to rise up for this majestic series. Kaguya-sama Love is War Season 2 is a 10 out of 10. From its Gintama level humor, to its silent voice level character development, from its brilliant opening song, to all the animators working overtime like the Madhouse animators in One Punch Man Season 1. I just can't praise this series enough. There are absolutes in the anime community. Rachel is a bitch. We need a Devil is a Part-Timer Season 2, and Nezuko needs to be protected. Well guys, it's time to add another absolute to this list. Kaguya-sama Love is War is an S tier top 3 rom-com series of all time. Now before I turn into a full-blown white knight simp flocking to a queen, let me try my best to break down why this series is such a masterpiece. Reason number 1, witty and on-point humor. It's nothing new, but the humor in season 2 is in constant upgrade. I can't tell you how many times I was wheezing for air due to all the different comedic scenes. Even in episode 1, the comedy comes in strong because I remember when Chico's being yanked onto screen by her dog Pez, and I instantly remember the time when Restarte got wrecked in Cautious Hero. Like, she got dragged throughout the sky like a dead animal carcass in the mouth of a lion. And we can't go on without addressing all those golden moments when Chica was being the mom and teaching Miyuki something. Y'all remember season 1 and Chica was teaching Miyuki how to play volleyball? This face right here is the same face I make when I realize I need to take a shit during my mile run test. And man, in episode 5 when Miyuki was demonstrating his singing, it freaking reminded me of Ayumi from Is This a Zombie after he gets exposed to the sun. Low-key, we need to give Chica a Mother of the Year award, a Nobel Peace Prize, and 14 Purple Hearts. She really helping Miyuki overcome trauma one masterclass, Skillshare class at a time. And guys, those Rocky-like montages get me all the time because it's so genius. And they quickly follow up with Miyuki showing off what he learned, and all the while Chica reflecting on her Vietnam War days and breaking down crying about what they accomplished. These scenes are so predictable and simple, but I just think the execution with playing into the character tropes are so on point, it just came off as some unforgettable anime comedy gold. The second point I want to bring up is romance in a new twist. Kind of plays into the comedy, but things definitely got raunchier this time around. I'm blown away by how far we got in terms of Miyuki and Kaguya's romance, but at the same time by how far we didn't. I think for me, the peak of the romance definitely had to be the scene where Miyuki and Kaguya gets locked up in the storage room. This scene was genius because the whole time, these two got accidentally locked up in the storage room, and they thought that both of them set the other person up. Like Kaguya went full tsundere mode by saying, I know Miyuki set all this up, but just for research, I'll stick around to see what happens. These two are so caught up in their love battle that they were more excited by the supposed assertiveness of the other party than even trying to escape the room. And of course, they had to hit us with the Bam Tower of God pin down. Then they had to hit us with that double anime cliche of right before when Miyuki goes in for the kiss, Miko opens the door like a Navy SEAL about to jump out of a helicopter. Dude, on a side note, Miko's face was so hilarious. It's like she stumbled upon a ugly bastard hentai scene. Okay, point number 3. How meta and self-aware the series is. Now, another big thing I want to point out and give credit to is how much the creator respects the audience. I think sometimes with many of these series, they have no clue who they're catering towards. Fairy tale. But with Kaguya-sama, it understands the audience and leverages that mutual respect between creator and audience. For example, at the end of episode 7, that shoujo bit is the pinnacle of how meta and self-aware this series is. From the shoujo glitters, from the separate call cards and opening song, the twisted narcissism of Kaguya, and the ridiculous ad-libs of Miyuki and Ishigami. I had to make sure I was watching Love is War at a certain point and not some parody anime. Then Chika had to come in with Mr. Steel Yosin, and she single-handedly lifted the anime shoujo air. Guys, what kind of rom-com series loves the audience to the point where they give us a Chad male MC, a shoujo sparkle female MC, and a whole ass new anime opening just for a 4-minute bit? Hey, all I could say is Miyuki likes black undies, so you can't get any more respectful than that. Now, this is gonna be the longest portion of my video, but the last thing I want to talk about is character development. Of course, we got some of that in season 1, but season 2 really put gas to the pedal. If season 1 was an avocado, season 2 would be a whole avocado farm with a side of Chipotle's 325 chips and guacamole. The first character I want to focus on is Kaguya. It may be apparent in season 1, but in season 2, it's so in your face that our homegirl Kaguya is madly in love. Heck, she was so in love that she got hospitalized after Miyuki pulled a white hair out of her hair. In like some K-drama scene when a conglomerate CEO is at a hospital, Kaguya summoned the #1 doctor in Nihon and all of his associates. And even with him, who probably gets paid millions to perform impossible medical procedures and cure people with incurable diseases like Jesus, even he could not cure a teenage girl's heart that is in love. We also need to give Hayazaka a purple heart, because she was about to pass out with secondhand embarrassment. I'm pretty sure you guys noticed too, but Kaguya was really able to develop as a character when she was in love. We love this Kaguya with rose-tinted glasses, especially when she changes her voices to that ball of cuteness. This is really random, but check out Kaguya's VA, Koga Aoi, perform that voice live during a New Year's special.
会長、怒ってる。ごめんなさい。いや、怒るようなことじゃ。
That is why Boardman gets paid, to be able to manipulate your voice in that fashion. Woof! VA professionals sure are scary. Even with Kaguya acting like a savage mafia Scarface behind the scene, we definitely see a warmer side of her this time around, with her looking out for her kohai, and of course for her internal. The next character I want to focus on is Miko Ino, a character who played a major role in a big arc this season, which was the student council arc. Apart from her being introduced just this season, and always getting PTSD from stumbling upon porn scene shoots, I actually really like this character. She definitely had a pretty interesting first impression. She being at the top of her class in terms of grade, and her dad being a judge, big shot. She's your typical model student. Despite those good first impressions, girl, why are you handing out flyers with Connie from Attack on Titan on them? Despite her lame campaign tactics, she definitely has good taste, especially when she recruited Chika to run as a VP. Heck, anybody who calls Chika a genius is an instant friend of mine. What really proned me to like this character is when she gave her student council candidate speech. She straight up choked like Papa Doc from 8 Mile. But then we get that Naruto character development flashback, and we learn that Miko got her strong drive of justice with her parents always being gone from home and her convincing herself that her parents are always busy because they're dedicated to the world of justice. In turn, Miko becomes a combination of taiga and the Twitter rage culture. She doesn't even hesitate one bit when cracking down on senpais who are even scary or popular. Obviously, this is going to isolate Miko in any school setting, and it may seem that Miko has a strong exterior, but in reality, she is very sensitive and weak in the inside. And on that student council candidate speech stage, it seemed like she started to question herself if this road to justice is even worth fighting for at all. This is where the best waifu, Miyuki, comes into play because he purposely takes on the villain role to instigate Miko's drive for justice. So instead of looking out into a sea of students without knowing who is family or foe, the embodiment of injustice is formed through Miyuki in front of Miko's eyes. Thus, Miko went from Papa Doc to B Rabbit. I can't explain why, but I get choked up whenever I see said characters overcome their past traumas. The last amazing character I want to talk about is Ichigami, aka Ishigod. I'm an anime oni, so I did not expect to get any Ishigami character development whatsoever. All I expected from his character was to be the punching bag of all the girls in the student council. Who would have thought Ishigod was going to be the driving force in the second half of season 2? Things went for a serious turn when Ishigami joined the cheerleading squad. At first, I thought things were going to be all shits and giggles, especially when trying on Kaguya's sailor school uniform, and Miko once again was exposed to yet another beautiful view. But I was like, okay, things are getting a little serious, when I realized that the faces of the cheerleading squad was blurred out like the movie Silent Voice. And I'm like, wow, we are seeing this anime from Ishigami's point of view, and he's struggling with some deep levels of social anxiety. I mean, I can't 100% pinpoint what he's dealing with, but speaking from personal experience as someone who struggled with social anxiety, I had the same sentiments as Ishigami. I couldn't look into the faces around me to the point where I tried to blur them out. Then episode 11 happened, and I was just blown away. To quickly summarize what happened, Ishigami was the victim of slander, deceit, and ultimate betrayal. He stood up for this girl in middle school because she was about to be a victim of revenge porn, but the script got completely turned on him when this fuckboy Chad victimized Ishigami by telling the whole school that he was actually stalking this girl. He was like, what the fuck? And he sees the girl he stood up for in the crowd and tells her to tell the class that this isn't the case. Instead, this son of a bitch Karen piece of shit pulls off a Rachel and pushes my dude off a cliff. So what ended up happening is Ishigami gets suspended for a month, and the teacher said he can only return if he writes an apology letter. And to really deliver the death blow, the teacher says if he writes an apology letter, the fuckboy will be gracious enough to forgive him. I think that's what drove Ishigami to insanity, because he ended up being a hikikomori for the rest of his junior high school experience. Then one day, our internal president, Miyuki, breaks into Ishigami's locked room, and with a Greek god aura around him, he tells Ishigami he believes he's been set up and he is not in the wrong, and ultimately, he did a good job persevering. After that heaven-like, well-timed speech, Miyuki proceeds in an epic-like fashion to write on Ishigami's crumbled apology paper, and in big, bold letters, our internal president writes, "Go to hell, dumbass." Fast forward to the school festival right before Ishigami runs in a relay race. This same Karen Rachel shows out of nowhere and starts insulting our man. Then in a cool-like fashion, as if he practiced this line 1,000 times, Ichigo coolly responds with, "Urusei baka." Then, after that, in a perfect symbolic fashion, as Ishigami ran with his all in the anchor leg of the race, it was Ishigami's way of saying a big FU to his past childhood trauma. Even though he lost, the whole cheerleading squad ran up to him and said it was okay, and they tried to console him. Then it finally clicked for Ishigami. He's like, shit, all people aren't bad. Then once again we get hit with that silent voice, because Ishigami opens his eyes once again and all the X's have been lifted up from the cheerleading squad's faces. And guys, I'm not gonna lie, after seeing our anxious filled and sad boy Ishigami assimilate with his classmates and see a genuine smile on his face, god damn it, who's cutting the onions? Well, if y'all made it this far into the video, y'all are all real MVPs. But I want to end off this video with saying that Kaguya-sama Season 2 is a 10 out of 10 for me, and once again, an S-class level rom-com material. The student council is absolutely filled with goats and champions. Internal president is GOAT for being there for people at their lowest, Chika is a GOAT for being Chika, Kaguya is a GOAT because don't mess with a maiden in love, Miko is a GOAT for surviving some horrible views, and finally, Ishigami is Ishigad. Thank you guys for watching this video. Really appreciate all the love and support thus far. See you guys in the next video. Peace out.